Hello again. I wanted so much to do a video that looked as nice as Sisters, and I downloaded some software, but apparently I am a techno turtle, so I was not able to achieve that. So we are going to be stuck yet with a talking head. Maybe by the last week I'll be able to get a teenager to help me with these software issues. Um, Professor Paget said somewhere early on that each topic that we cover in this course could be a full course on its own, and certainly that's true this week with these issues on marriage and family, birth control, NFP, adoption, miscarriage, single parenting, cohabitation, divorce, and annulment. Each of these could be an entire course on its own, and I'm sure it is somewhere. Because these are primary issues because the family is the original cell of society. We all have a mother and a father. We have a natural right to know our natural parents, and parents have the primary responsibility for bringing up their children. And yet, as I often say, we are fallen and we are free, and so there's all kinds of difficulties in achieving that ideal. In fact, I realize here there's a picture behind me of a high school English teacher done by another one of her students, um, who who came from Italy to Chicago to teach in the all-girls high school that I went to. But before that, she had been a teacher in a all-girls boarding school in Italy and had a lot of um, famous and well-to-do girls in that school. In fact, one of her students was Isabella Rossellini. And and she liked to say that. She liked to share that fact and had some pictures of that beautiful young woman with her, but also point out how sad it was that the reason very many of those girls were at the boarding school was because they had parents who were too busy to actually raise them, and how sad that was for them. I always found some comfort in the fact that those girls had had a good, solid Italian sister raising them, as it were. Um, but I digress, I guess. I was thinking as I was reading through and watching the videos this week that um, well, life is messy, as we know. I'm a procurator for the diocesan tribunal, and this gives you a glimpse into the very messy knots that bad choices and bad situations often leave people. And um, it's important when you are dealing with these situations to attend to the needs of the individuals, of the people first. I think John's irregular situation and his request of the pastor for him to step down from ministry while that extremely lengthy process was going on, while that was necessary, while the pastor did that he did the right thing, but maybe he did it in the wrong way. There was maybe a better way to do that, because we can't make it about the rules, though the rules are there for a reason, and we have a primary responsibility to enforce the rules. But as I tell my children, people before things, even very good things, like good rules. I think wherever there are rules, there's a temptation. I guess it's the temptation of the Pharisees, right? To think that if we enforce the rules fully, if we obey the rules perfectly, then that equals righteousness. Well, the rules are the guardrails, and they are necessary because God has a plan. God has a plan, and it's our responsibility to stay within the confines of that plan. But when we're dealing with individuals and their individual situations, we have to put the person first. That does not mean that we break the rules. That only means that we attend to them as an individual before all. You know, a lot of times people don't realize that canon law obliges pastors to offer assistance with marriage. And that assistance has to come in the form of preaching, in also preparation for marriage, a proper liturgical celebration of marriage, and help for those who are already married. I think sometimes we skip over that part, that last one, and we go to help for those who no longer want to be married. There's this sense of, needing to process annulments and keep people happy and in the pews. When if we attended better to our responsibility to help people that are already married, if we provided some kind of support for that, we may avoid some of these difficulties. I think that part of the problem is that the church hasn't caught up to the culture. For millennia, there was an assumption that men are men, women are women, and marriage is between a man and a woman, and that they help each other get to heaven, and they have children, and then they have the responsibility of raising those children. There weren't questions about that, but right now the family is being redefined and rearranged in an unprecedented way, particularly with the legalization of same-sex marriage and transgender issues, which all of these things deny the objectivity of what's true, never mind bringing God into the equation, and make subjective determinations about what any individual thinks should be happening, or what's right for them, as they like to say. But we're on the defensive. As church, we're on the defensive, which has almost taken us away from our primary goal of promoting healthy marriages and helping people who are in irregular situations. But it has first to be about people. When we do this, when we focus on the positive as opposed to the negative, on the thou shalt rather than the thou shalt nots, when we focus on the positive message of the church, which is God's beautiful plan for each one of us, even if we would focus on the positive message of Amoris Laetitia or Humanae Vitae for that matter, the culture of life can finally be seen in all its beauty, though there are still those clearly who will reject it. But in our interactions with individuals, with people, this is where our focus should be, to hold out that beautiful vision so that they can glimpse something that maybe they've never had an opportunity to see. And then, as I love the quote from Deuteronomy, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. I think when we focus on the positive aspects, people have an opportunity to do just that, to choose the culture of life over the culture of death. When we are proactive in our presentation rather than negatively reactive, our message, I think, can be heard more clearly. Thank you.